This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. A 3-hour banger lined up for you today. Great guests on the program, including Matt Vasgersian. His look at tonight's remaining 4 games on the Major League Baseball card. He always comes with a good spin and great nuggets with numbers every time he's on this program. Lou Finocchiaro on a really good card in the UFC this weekend in 90 minutes. Steve Wiss in soccer. We'll touch on the baseball card. We'll get into the playoff action, obviously, in the NBA and the NHL several times throughout. And we'll rant about what's going on with March Madness as it's official today. They're going to go to 76 teams. Thank God, because every human being on the planet was begging for that to happen. OG is banged up, Paulie, after last night.
Yeah, not
and now,
good.
He's questionable now for Game 3, but I also, the Sixers can maybe win the next 2 games to get back into this thing. Who knows? It feels like they had to have that game last night. You agree with that?
No.
No?
I thought they got a friendly whistle, which I couldn't believe. I mean, the Knicks couldn't get a call in the second quarter. You got the Bronx cheer from the fans. Hart was beside himself. I love how Cat's in foul trouble every game, and he's never committed a foul in his career. Like, it's every game, man. It's you. That third one where he sticks his leg out? Come on.
Yeah.
But we still get the assists over. I don't mind plus 750 to come back and win the series. There's some 20-1 out there to win the East. I can't imagine he plays tomorrow. This is why we can't have nice things. He's so good. What he means to them defensively and how he's been great offensively. The easy transition baskets he's been getting as well. So, it wreaked havoc a couple years ago in the Indiana series. It seems like to me he can't play Friday. We'll see what happens with Embiid. The favorite is flipped in this game, and I think the Knicks lose tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. So, to me, I personally feel the reason why I said it, they kind of needed that game last night, is because they were in control and led for a lot of that game. And without Embiid, to go to Madison Square Garden and take one of the first 2 games, I think would have been huge. And then you'd have to love their chances in this series. Again, they might win the next 2 at home. Who knows? But I will point this out as a reminder. This was a big-time betting deal for many years where, specifically in the NBA playoffs, in any round, if the road team in the first 2 games lost and went down 2-0, to come back and play them in the first quarter and the first half in Game 3 was it was too good to be true for a long time, but that has since flipped. If you go back from the pandemic, again, that year in 2020, it was all neutral court in Orlando, so we'll use 2021 to present day. The first half ATS is only 23-21 overall. And in fact, it was still pretty good right after the pandemic. From 2021 to 2023, it was 14-8 ATS. But since then, 2023 to last year, 6-8. So when you look at how books have caught on, the Sixers, as you said, they flipped to the favorite. They're 1.5-point favorites in this game. They're also laying 1.5 in the first quarter and 1.5 in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
That was never the case before, books caught on and they since flipped it. And now they expect everybody to be on the Sixers here early on in this game.
Yeah, I don't agree with what Barkley said, that they can't beat them. I mean, also, we didn't know the severity of OG either. But I think they have an excellent chance to make this interesting now, as this would be a big loss. And
if he doesn't play, then you really have to like the 76ers.
Yep. And it was weird with Paul George. He was hot early on and then couldn't do anything from the third quarter on. And the same thing with Maxey. Vicious beat if he had the over, how that game died. But now you just got to have some support from the others here as you go home with your season on the line. Now, I know Dustin, the Knick fan, pointed out the last time they played in the regular season, they didn't have OG and Bridges went off and had a big game. So he said it's next man up mentality. They have enough scores. But to me, also, you're asking for maybe the impossible if Cat can stay out of foul. His numbers are ridiculous.
I know.
They have no answer for the guy. And that goes back to Atlanta and this series. If he doesn't get in foul trouble, he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. And he led everyone in assists last night, even though he's dealing with foul trouble. So that's the other thing. They still have enough to beat him, and maybe they could sweep the series here. But I think you're going to get a desperate team extend the series and have a good performance by Philly.
Exact games at DraftKings, they don't even have up 5. They don't have, well, you could bet, I guess, the Knicks in the sweep if you want to go exact games 4. They posted earlier today 6 games, which is 4-1. 7 games is plus 350. Are you confident enough, it sounds like you are, that it's going to go 6-7 games here?
Well, until I know more about OG, yeah. And also what Embiid's status is. That's the big thing. They're assuming Embiid's going to play tomorrow. But then what happens in Game 4 and Game 5 moving forward if that happens? But Circa's got plus 750, and that was as high as 1,500 on the Knicks last night at Caesars. So I don't mind the plus 750. I just think it's too high now.
Yeah, by the way, not knowing what's going to happen with OG Anunoby at this point, I kind of like the 76ers regardless if Embiid plays. In fact, I might like him a little bit more if he doesn't play in the game. That was a free-flowing offense last night. Yeah. They had to go, much smaller. Hurt my feelings because Drummond's rebound prop never, we'll detail that a little bit later on, how that lost. I'll have no idea.
I like how they play with pace, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
You just got to come right back with these props, though. It's too easy. George over threes, George over points, and the Cat assists. 6 in a row. Cat's gone over his assist prop. 7 dimes paid plus 330, and he led everyone in assists, and he was in foul trouble for much of the game in the first half.
I haven't even looked yet. What's the prop for game number 3?
He's 4.5 again.
It's got to be.
Paul George is 2.5 made threes, and they're assuming Embiid's playing at Caesars. He's 15.5 with points.
Okay.
He was 18.5 last night.
Do you know the juice on the Cat 4.5 assists?
Like $1.30?
$1.30 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to move it to 5.5 quite yet. They'll just go 4.5 and keep it juiced until he keeps posting 6, 7, and then they'll move to 5.5 at some point. So, and this angle with the Spurs came in again last night. They have now won and covered 10 straight off of a loss. Second team to do that since 2013. That was the 2023-2024 Pacers who also did that. And it was never really a game. I'll raise my hand.
Nope.
I grossly misjudged the potential complacency by the Timberwolves after taking game 1. It looked like they had no interest in even playing that game, specifically from about the midpoint of the second quarter on. And at the same time, I will tip my cap and say that was an amazing performance from San Antonio. I think both things could be true. Once the Wolves dug a hole, they realized, well, what's the point? We took one game. We're good to go back to Minnesota tied at 1 with this squad.
That's their history.
Yeah.
Get the split, and that's it. So I think the Spurs are a better team. They have to show it now. It's up to 4.5 tomorrow night on the road. But great Wemby performance, and called out De'Aaron Fox. He delivered too. So at the end, it looked good with the made threes. They struggled early on, but suffocating defense in Minnesota couldn't do anything. That thing was over early in the second quarter.
4.5. What do you think of that number?
Yeah, 4.5 at DK. I think it's a good in-play game to see. And I think if you like Minnesota, I would take the first half based on what San Antonio did in the 2 road games in Portland. Those are the 2 games that were down big early and had to rally in the second half.
Yeah, that arena for Minnesota is going to be fired up beyond belief for that game. Now, I talked to my T-Wolves buddy today. Look, I mean, all these dudes are built differently. He said that Jaden McDaniels needs something to be pissed off about.
Okay.
And you can see it by watching him, is what he told me. He said he's not the same guy that we saw in Denver because he was pissed off against it, and he does not like the Nuggets players, and he wanted to take it out with Jamal Murray, so he's so fired up. Mike, the kid's 25 years old. Like, he needs extra motivation. My buddy's response, well, I guess it's human nature. So this is a great quote, by the way, from Wemby on the approach for Game 3. He said last night after the game, we're going to watch film because, as Pop says, when you win, you're never as good as you thought you were, and when you lose, you're rarely as bad. So obviously, stay humble and keep working.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's an amazing. I love that.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Do it again tomorrow. Don't give them any hope. Show that you're the better team. Everyone wants OKC San Antonio.
You're not kidding.
Let's make it happen. And tonight, I can't make a case for the Lakers here. With this series, it's all about props. Sweep is $1.05. Minus 105, OKC in a sweep. Lucas said it yesterday. The doctor told him he's out 8 weeks. This is week 5. So he's not playing in this series. Kennard's banged up. He didn't do anything in game 1. There's just no way they can. The SGA doesn't even play well. So I think a sweep $1.05, and the only way you can attack this is with props tonight.
How about people basically in NBA media calling for Luka's head, saying this is the Luka that the Mavericks could not wait to trade.
Oh, come on.
And they're saying just because the doctor told you it's going to be 8 weeks doesn't mean that it has to take that long. And their example is look at Anthony Edwards. That was supposed to be a month. He wants to play, and he has been playing. I don't know why Edwards was in that game so long last night. What's the point of doing that? The game was a 40-point contest and over with again in the second quarter. He was, still playing there late in the second half. No, that's not me talking. That's like my Twitter feed of NBA guys that I follow. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, that's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, if the
calling him soft, basically.
Yeah, if the guy's out 4 to 8 weeks, I mean, come on. There's plenty of hamstring injuries going around the league.
Yeah, I'll expand on that game coming up as well. Some really good numbers. You can find a ton of this stuff at VSiN.com. I know this thing. You must be feeling great about betting the Ducks yesterday to win the series outright against the Golden Knights at higher than 3-1.
I don't know. People are watching a different series.
Oh, this is lopsided here.
Eddie O said it early in the first period. He's right. You got to be loving life if you're Anaheim.
No doubt.
And they still, what if they get the power play going? That's the other thing. I mean, they were 50% against Edmonton, and Vegas has done a great job on the penalty kill. But they thoroughly outplayed them. It should have been a shutout. You get the fluke goal with 4 seconds left. They've outplayed them for 2 games. And you can argue Vegas has been outplayed in every single game but one. Game 6 in Utah. So now it's as low as minus 150 to win the series.
I would say that Vegas has had probably one good period in the 2 games against Anaheim.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think they're the better team, and I think they're going to win the series.
I wanted to ask you, do you think they're still... Is Anaheim plus 140 still worth it, you think?
Yeah. If you're late to the party, yes.
Yeah.
I think so. And they might get both games in Anaheim as well. Because the comeback is, what if they get the power play going? And that's let them down so far in this series.
Yeah, we'll expand on the playoff games that we have coming up tonight. The under is on a 14-3 run when these two teams meet. I'll tell you which game next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Friday's episode of Money Moves, a trio of fantastic guests. Will Hill and Zach Cohn will stop by, give us their thoughts on the weekend. Zach's got a really strong angle on this player prop for the association schedule. That evening, Mike Palm will check in. We get 2 with the big guy, get some best bets in the National Hockey League. Anaheim and Vegas resume their series on Friday night, as does Montreal and Buffalo. Really like this angle in this series. We'll tell you what it is. It's Money Moves, 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Tonight's action here in the playoffs, by the way, coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get into Major League Baseball. There is a guy going today that you might want to add to win the Cy Young. I'll leave it at that, and I'll tell you who that is coming up in about 15 minutes. The games that we have on the docket, let me just say that the numbers that Steve Makinen had today here at VSiN and the website, vsin.com, I tweeted it out. The angles, the historical numbers, like the trends don't pay the rent, I get it. But it'll tell you how these teams have done in the past and how these teams have, like, the outcomes of when they play each other and everything. Here's a team I was talking about before the break. The Cavaliers and Pistons again playing tonight. The total right now, 215.5 or 216 on the screen. Under the total is 14-3 the last 17 times these two teams have played. Do we have a similar outcome, you think, that we saw to game one?
No. That was very sloppy, and it was a tough turnaround after both teams were off a 7-game series. That will not happen again. I think the Cavs can hang here. The 4 was available. That's gone. Mm-hmm. But this is, they're 0-4 on the road. This is one they have to have because it's going to be difficult down 0-2 and all the pressure on Cleveland. There'll be major changes if you can't get this done. When do you see a team trade a 26-year-old for a 36-year-old? So the pressure that's on Harden, and that is getting national attention, that tweet after what happened in game one, that he has all the fifth most games now where he has more turnovers than made field goals in a playoff game. Mm-hmm. That's unacceptable. So he's got to get going. They have to get Allen out of foul trouble. Can Mitchell get to the free throw line and get going offensively? And again, as I said yesterday, 25 players are averaging at least 20 a game in the playoffs. He's last in free throw attempts. He said the reason why is I don't flop. But between the turnovers, what happened in the slow start behind the 8 ball, Detroit was also fantastic down the stretch with Cade and Duran. This is one you have to have if you're the Cavs and prove that you can win a road game after your struggles in Toronto as well. So I'm expecting a big effort here out of Cleveland and see if they can tie this thing up.
Well, I don't know what kind of Mitchell we're going to get tonight because he's been held under 25 points in 6 straight games.
Yeah, it seems like he's not explosive anymore.
I know it.
It's just the burst and juice isn't there.
So he's in that stretch. He's averaged below 21 a game. He's shooting 30% from 3. Like if the threes aren't falling, because he's not getting to the free throw line again, like you said, 1.7 times per game. Like it doesn't seem like that's a good recipe to pop out of it here, but the threes are not going to be going down. Also, in the range tonight that the Pistons are at, smaller home favorites in game 2s, 7 points or less, 19-5 straight up, 17-7 ATS over the last 24 chances. And this is now a major problem for the Cavaliers as well. Full season against teams with a winning record, 15-34 against the spread. That's less than 31%. Horrible job out of this team this year.
Yep. Got to play the math game, though, too, in the numbers. So, part of the reason why are you going to the basket? You're not getting the calls. Detroit held Orlando to 45% in the paint, lowest in the playoffs in 7 years. But they're last in the playoffs in three-point percentage. They were great in game 1. I don't expect that to continue, although you have to guard Duncan Robinson. Merrill's hurt. That's a problem. Jenkins was great in game 1. Yep. But this is where guys like Tyson, Strus, Harden, you got to knock down these threes here because you take a lot more threes and you're much more efficient than Detroit from three-point land. That's how they can make up threes and win the game as well. But, I mean, it was absurd. The turnovers and the turnovers that led to easy baskets the other way. And still, they're down 11 in the fourth quarter and rally come back and tie the game. So
I'm glad you brought that up because I'll be honest, Paulie, I was looking around today to a bunch of different national sports books, many of which are not even here, like in the state of Nevada. I was specifically looking for turnovers, either team turnovers or turnovers by individual players, and I could not find them anywhere. Maybe they pop a little bit later on in the day, but the audience is always great at this. You can always tweet the show at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. I'm curious if you know of a sports book that offers a prop on player turnovers, because I'd like to see what that number is tonight for James Harden and others. I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm intrigued by that.
29 times in his career. Boy, that's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And I know Barkley was talking about it last night. He couldn't believe it. 29 times more turnovers in a game than made field goals in his playoff career.
Yep.
But the Detroit had 12 steals, 16 offensive boards. You got to cut that stuff out right then. And that was a big difference in game 1. I would look at Thompson rebounds for Detroit. And other than that, I would just say this is where Cleveland's got to win the game and take the points. This is a tough game from a prop standpoint, unlike the late game, which we'll get to coming up. Would you like anything?
Well, so I'll tie this game into the late game because you can maybe do it with both of them. So far in the postseason, if you bet the previous team that lost the cover, right? If you bet them in the first quarter with the spread, you're 26-15-1 ATS. So that would be Cleveland tonight, first quarter, and the Lakers in the first quarter as well. That's 11 games over 500 already.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I know people want to scoff at the zigzag. At this point, again, the zigzag is just...
I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
It worked 25 years ago.
Yeah, exactly right. But maybe that angle to it, the team that lost against the spread or lost outright previously, to come back and get them because you're going to get a great effort for the first 12 minutes in real time.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't make the case for the Lakers, though. I just can't.
So they were asked LeBron about why does the offense look like this in Game 1 and in the Houston series. He goes, well, you're taking away a guy who's 34-8-7. I mean, Luka's one of the best in the game. So LeBron was 26-9-8 in the Houston series and 42% from three. He also had the most points in Game 1, and he didn't really take a lot of shots. So I think LeBron points can go over here, that it's too low. But the other problem, the turnovers and the rebounding issues, and it's just shame on Houston how they played in that series, that in the first 4 games, they took 66 more shots. The Lakers had 22 more turnovers and 36 fewer offensive rebounds and won the series in 6. But this Ayton thing is real. It continues to happen. I would say he's only priced at 9 rebounds. He's been great on the glass. Reeves has to show up. He's been awful in 2 of the 3 games. But as you said earlier, you're correct. It's 5-0 OKC head-to-head. 4 of the wins are by 18+.
But yeah, average margin of victory, 27 points. They're also 49-9 straight up, 38-19-1 ATS, playing at home in the one-day rest scenario going back to March 2024. They're a machine. Now, I don't think we're going to get because this team won it last year and they're still super young, but they have that experience of winning. I think that they just want to go to Los Angeles up 2-0, and they want to blow them out tonight. I don't think we're going to get like a Minnesota effort last night. Like, hey, we can show up with our C- game and we can win this game by 4 points. I don't see that from Oklahoma City. I'll give you one prop to consider in the game, and that would be Hachimura.
That's right. Threes?
Well, how about it's 12.5 points. He's gone over that number in 12 of the last 15 games, averaging 15+ points per game in that span.
Yeah.
Zach Cohen had a great write-up today at VSiN.com.
And if you're looking at game leaders and it's going to be a blowout, you can make the case for several OKC guys. I mean, what McCain did coming in late and knocking down all those threes. So McCain, I'm not going to put you off any of these guys. Mitchell, McCain, Caruso, Wallace. I mean, if it's going to be a blowout again, yes.
How about the other Williams? It's all possible with this team. I bet McCain over 4.5 points at plus money.
Okay.
He was really good in game 1. I think there are a couple of scenarios here. If the Thunder are covering this game and it's a blowout, well, he's absolutely going to get run. But if they're struggling and it's tight and they're not really scoring the ball and other guys are not playing well, I think Daigneault's going to have a lot of confidence to go to the guy and say, hey, look, you were great at getting buckets in game 1. We need something here. And you got to be on the court again. I think either way, this guy's going to get some looks tonight in the game.
DraftKings has total OKC losses in the playoffs 4.5 now, under -150. Sweep is 8-1. I don't think that'll happen unless it's probably Minnesota. But it's scary that they don't even play well, and SGA doesn't do much and doesn't get to the free throw line. They still don't have any problems.
Right. So if you bet that over 4, you said 4.5 losses?
Yeah.
If you bet that over, you're really going to need probably, if they get the Spurs, that series to go to 7 games.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any team in the East is really going to take 2 tops against them.
Perhaps. Yeah. Yep. What do you think of the Carolina game? 5 of the 6 meetings have gone to overtime this year. That's the Rich in Canada special. 8 of the last 9 Carolina games have gone under. 5.5 under -130.
Right.
Flyers season on the line. Horrendous power play. Worst in the league. Carolina's kill, 94%. Also a good power play as well. And Anderson continues to be the story of the playoffs with his record. 6-0, a 1.02 goals against, and a .960 save percentage. Stankoven over shots on goal again. 2.5 over. 6-0 so far in the playoffs.
Very good.
I'm back with that. We only got one hockey game.
How about this? Go back to 2007 when the first 2 games of a playoff series go under. Game 3 goes over 60% of the time.
Smarter bets start here. Last all year long. VSiN Pro. Get the annual subscription, normally $240 for just $199. Sign up today. We'll throw in 2 extra months for free. Every best bet, every host, every guest. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe. Code PRO. VSiN.com/subscribe.
The guarantee? I hear it's massive.
They wouldn't do this unless it was something big.
There is no way it's that high.
I think it's even bigger.
It's huge. What? It's huge. Oh.
I'm down here at Circa, and I heard it's going to be gigantic. It's the biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
All right, guys. You're going to have to wait and see. The biggest pro football contests in the world are back. Visit circasports.com for more information.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, so I guess the question is, are the Cubs going to lose ever again, despite having countless injuries of the pitching staff?
Bad beat, Derek Stevens. Another trip giveaway.
Yeah.
Another walk-off for the Cubbies.
Boy, oh boy.
3 nights in a row.
In the last couple of weeks, again, if you're betting the Cubs live, as we said yesterday, to come back and win these games, you're up so many units, you can't even count the money. And today, they're not going to need it because they're up 8-1 right now, top of the 7th. And Shota Imanaga was brilliant yet again. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned, 10 Ks. His ERA is down to 2.28 on the year. The WHIP is 0.93. So he has been one of the best pitchers in the National League and in Major League Baseball to date. And I heard Matt Brown talking about it with Mike Somich over the weekend right here on VSiN. And at the time, Brown tipped Imanaga at 90-1. And that's an unbelievable number because I'm looking around right now. Imanaga is down to between 30 and 40-1. But I would say, to piggyback what Matt was saying, after another strong performance today, if you were not listening on Sunday to get 90-1, if you can find 40-1 on him right now, or maybe even a little bit better at some places, I would say Shota is definitely worth a shot. The guy is back in his form from a couple years ago when he came in and took the league by storm. His numbers are not fake at all. Going into this game, he had an ERA of 2.40. The expected ERA was 2.84, and the FIP was 2.73. And the Ks per 9 are going to go up after today. And this team appears to be a squad that can win, 95-plus games maybe this year.
How do you tear your meniscus playing with your kids? Boyd, how does that happen? What? That's like the Sosa thing with the sneeze. I mean, these are just bizarre injuries that are going on. The guy's out a month with the meniscus. I was chasing my kids around in the backyard.
I know.
It's the damnedest thing, guys. But if they could, they've been able to be okay with all these injuries with the pitchers, but they continue to mash, and this is their longest home winning streak in 15 years. What a story. Feel bad for the Reds, though, either. I mean, they keep blowing these games, too, but nothing today. And the other one, the Reds, the Red Sox are favored, and they just had a 10-cent move here at DraftKings. The other story, what the Yankees are doing and what the Rays are doing. 12-1 last 13 with a 1.23 ERA. 17 runs allowed. Third team in the last 45 years to have a stretch where they allowed 17 runs or fewer in a 13-game stretch. They're on a 12-1 underrun. In 13 straight games, they've allowed 3 runs or fewer. This is insanity as well.
And the only other 2 teams that do that in the last 45 years also went on to win the World Series that year.
Oh, wow.
The 2010 Giants and the 2022 Astros. So in this game, Bennett's going to go for the Red Sox. He beat the Astros 3-1 in his 2026 debut on Friday. He allowed 1 run in 5 innings. And in the last 60 years, only 3 Boston lefties have won each of their first 2 career games. Starts, that is. Eduardo Rodriguez was the last guy to do it in 2015. Here's something to watch, though. Yandy Diaz, he is a total pro at the plate for the Rays. 2 hits shy of 1,000 for his career. His slash line in 93 career games against the Red Sox, 325, 412, 506. In the last 35 years, only Maglio Ordonez has a higher career average. Now, again, he'll be facing Bennett for the first time in his career tonight, but this is remarkable what this team has been able to do so far. And the Rays against lefties on the year, they're around average or maybe a little bit better than that. 245 overall with the average against lefties, 11th best in Major League Baseball. And then they're like hovering around 15th or 16th in slugging, OPS, and also slugging. So, on base slugging and OPS, I'm sorry. And Griffin Jax is going to go today, who was the opener. Mm-hmm. They might actually have to convert this guy into a starter because of their injuries.
Yeah.
I know, first 5 Rays are even money here, by the way.
I can't believe it. Of all teams, no doubt. Full marks to this organization. Always in the mix. Phillies win again. 8-1 under Mattingly. Outscored opponents 45-22. They have lost the last 4 games started by Painter, though, and I would think there'd be runs tonight, and the total's 9. But I'm not going to put you off the Phillies with the way they're running, and this get close to 500 now and 8-1 under Mattingly. Harper was playing well, hitting well, but didn't do anything last night in the win. but I think there's runs, and Kurtz is now 30 in a row with his on-base streak.
Yep. So the Opta AI projections at the website, VSiN.com. Some of their biggest edges tonight in all of baseball. This includes the games that were going on earlier today or have already gone final. But Wilson, Rooker, and Carlos Cortez, 2+ total bases for the A's they're high on. And Wilson, 2+ hits, runs, or RBIs. They really like him. And I will point out, the A's have lost 4 of their last 5. They've allowed 38 runs and 9 home runs in 43 innings. Their bullpen in that span, 23 runs, 23 hits, 11 walks, and 17 innings. That is disgusting. Yep. And it's funny how
bad.
Not only have the wins been there since they made the move here to Don Mattingly, but everything has been better for Philadelphia. Now, is that the competition? Maybe, because after the A's, they're going to get the Rockies, but runs per game are up from 3.6 to 5. The starting pitching ERA went from 5.8 to less than 1.9. And out of the pen, the bullpen ERA has improved by almost a full run under Mattingly so far. Very small sample size, but this is what we always talk about with a new coach bump in any sport, basically.
Even though they're 8-1 in their last 9, they're still the second worst team ROI in baseball. You're down almost 9 units on the Phillies. Tampa number 1 with a bullet. You're up almost 11 units betting on Tampa this year.
The O's and the Marlins tonight. This is Povich against Max Meyer, who's been really good. I will say that starters are 11-3 under their K-prop, last 14 against Baltimore. Meyer 4-0 over his last 4 games. He's got a 2.68 ERA on the year. His prop is 5.5 tonight. Opta AI projects about 5.58, so it's right at the number. And Povich is a lefty. The Marlins, where they rank overall against lefties on the year, 230 with the batting average, 20th in Major League Baseball, 329 slug, which is 28th, and a 643 OPS, which is 24th overall. So they are far from great against lefties on the year. And Pete Alonso starting to really get it together. His first 28 games were pretty poor, batted below 200. But his last 9 games, he has been much better and greatly improved. So that guy's red hot. And Alonso has been really good overall against Marlins pitching. Slash line 377, 442, 826 with 17 extra base hits and 25 RBIs in his last 17 games against Miami. That goes back to August of 2024.
Another good story, the Cardinals. They're in San Diego tonight. Kings $1.65. Tatis going to hit a home run?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Well, the speculation's out there around this guy big time.
Of course. Of course. Has to be. This is embarrassing. I mean, look how deep we are in the season. Plus, he's hitting 240, and the RBIs aren't there either. That's some contract.
Yep. So do you want to go with a potential nerfy tonight? Because opponents are slashing 144, 280, 212 against King the first 2 times through the lineup this year. He's also held opposing batters hitless in 20 at-bats with 8 Ks in the first inning this season. So he's been Mr. Automatic in the first inning. If he gets by, no problem, in the top of the first, your sweat would be whether or not the Padres are going to get one off Liberatore.
Yeah. I don't mind. I like the Yurfie and the Phillies game. I think there'll be some fireworks early in that one. I don't mind, yes.
Andujar, by the way, against Liberatore lifetime 6 for 9.
Yes.
Very small sample size, but always fun to talk about.
Yes, it is. And Vientos didn't work out last night. Hitting 800 against Lorenzen. I think he's the only Met who didn't have a hit. Unbelievable. Shows how hard
Is that right?
Yes. I was so pissed. Oh, man. Guy hitting 800 against him. He had 4 or 5 cracks at it. Couldn't get it done.
Well, what do we make of the Cubs here long term? Because it's been smoke and mirrors, you'd have to admit, I think, winning that many games by the comeback fashion that they were doing up until today by blasting the Reds now 8-1, like I said. They're going to have to make a move, right? This division is very good, by the way.
Yes, it is. I'm not going to count out the Brewers. You have to trust and respect their organization.
You do.
I'm still not there with the Pirates. And then even though the Reds have lost 6 in a row, you look at a team that's in last place and they're 20-17.
I kind of like the Pirates.
Yeah.
We saw it again last night. Skeens has had, 1 bad start on the year?
2.
2 bad starts? Mm-hmm. He was phenomenal last night. Scoreless through 8 innings.
I didn't get him any help, though. I mean...
Well, that's the problem with that guy.
Offense,
he never gets run support.
Yeah.
and he was good enough last night to get it done. They're trailing right now 2-1, by the way, to Arizona. Keller's on the mound. They're in the bottom of the fourth right now. But I think the Cubs are potentially the best team in the National League. And it's been 10 years since they won their World Series. And this team is very popular. Obviously, the people in Chicago are loving this team. They can't get enough of it, obviously. These comeback wins at home. I mean, it's every single night. You're going to have a blast with it.
Yeah.
But, like, with all the injuries, go get a starter. Trade for Skubal.
That'd be something.
Add another injured guy to the list.
Yeah. Yes.
Win-lose is up next. You know it's forced when the biggest names in the sport are against it. We'll expand on that coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Molly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Props keep cashing. Paul George, 7 games in a row, at least 3 3-pointers. 17 of the last 20, 15-plus points. 2.5 threes, 15.5 points right now. Caesars tomorrow. Cat, 6 games in a row, has gone over his assist prop. 7 dimes, laddered, plus 330, even in foul trouble. Most assists in the game, plus 750. Paul George to lead in threes, 5-1. Condolences if he had George to score 20 or more. He had 19 with 6 minutes in the third quarter. He didn't score the rest of the game.
That wasn't the only one.
That's right. Spurs, Wolves, Castle led in points, 12-1. Champagne in threes, 6-1. Harper in assists, 20-1. Weird stuff happens in blowouts. PSG, Munich draw, 4-1. Most runs, Nats, 17-1. High game, Nats, Twins, 8-1. Rangers cool off the Yankees for the time being, plus 150 yesterday. Cubs blowing out the Reds. You can make it 15 in a row at home. Longest home winning streak in 90 years. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos? At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Potato. Here's Potato. Got to get comfortable. He's all ticked off. You ready, Mitch? Find the spot, and then lights out. There it is. He's angry. He can't find his spot in his little bed that he hangs in. Good job, French Bulldog. That's Potato. Number 2, it's here. The hat in Las Vegas. The opening. Look at the line. Sandwiches that could choke a hippo. Look at this sucker. How long that stretches. I hope it's like, oh my God, it keeps going. I hope it's like In-N-Out where they get you in fast and get you out fast. But that thing goes on and on and on with the line to go into the hat as they had their grand opening. That is excellent.
I never heard of it until social media.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, portions are tremendous.
I guess they're known for their pastrami's.
Yeah.
Look at that line. I mean, you have to wait a month before you go there.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. It goes down the street? It's over 2 blocks? Come on now. FTM at VSiN.com. The discussion yesterday about getting a massage. Pete Hamill from Iowa. We went on our honeymoon in Costa Rica in 2012. If you go on the resort, a couple's massage is $250 before tip. We went at the edge of the property. 2 gals gave us a massage, 1 hour, $10. We gave them a 20. They said they couldn't believe it. They were trying to give us change. And the other one is from Omar. Lisa Kudrow, who was on Friends in the London Times. All cast members still earn $20 million a year in residuals. And it's still a money-making machine for Warner Brothers. That's nuts.
$20 million a year still?
Can you believe that? What's it all? Is it on all these streaming? Netflix, Amazon, whatever? It makes almost $1 billion for Warner Brothers, the article says.
Is it also still played like on reruns across like normal cable?
That probably, yeah. I'm sure that's the same thing too. Like Seinfeld. Yeah. One lose some. Knicks, 7 up to 10.5. No good. Several bad beats. Sixers, Knicks over. 31 points in the fourth quarter. Died. Sixers also don't foul down 6. Drummond over 8.5 rebounds. What happened? Why didn't he put him back in the game?
He had 8 rebounds when he picked up his 4th foul with 7:54 left in the third quarter. Never played another second. And I had over 8.5. That's a rough one.
That is.
So it's going to be Barlow who stole the minutes down the stretch. And I wonder if books are going to post props on him at all for the game tomorrow night.
Cubs, Reds under. Shenanigans late. And Anaheim to win by shutout. 11-1. 3-0. 14 seconds left. The puck in Vegas deep in their own zone. Anaheim takes a penalty. And then Vegas scores with 6 seconds left in the game. I mean, unbelievable if you had that. Sports calendar never stops. Sharp Plays covers it all. winning for 15 straight years, all of it documented. Blogs posted publicly, sharpplays.com. They get great intel and info from bettors and sources worldwide across all sports and push it to subscribers in real time. The daily Mr. Poison tweets, phenomenal. With Follow the Money since day one, respected, watched, feared. Start winning with them, sharpplays.com. Go get it.
It's official today. Tournament's going to go to 76 teams for March Madness starting in 2027. So the way it's going to work is that there will be 3 games on Tuesday and Wednesday in Dayton, and then 3 games again on Tuesday and Wednesday at a yet-to-be-determined location. Derek Stevens wants it right here in Las Vegas. I'm going to read you some of these quotes in a minute.
It's a monstrosity what the new bracket looks like now.
Paulie, so there are going to be 8 16 seeds, and they're all going to play each other in the playing games. What are we doing here?
I know. Half the teams are automatic qualifiers. I did not know that. That's a joke. 15 seeds are going to play a play-in.
Yep.
Come on.
Multiple. I think that's going to be 4 different 15 seeds will play each other to get in. And by the way, the coaches evidently had no say in this. Mark Few, there's an unbelievable story from Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. Gonzaga coach Mark Few, quote, "I am adamantly opposed. It's totally unnecessary. It's the dumbing down of the regular season."
Hello.
Yep. "We're going out here trying to generate more interest in the regular season, and expansion does not help. Don't screw with something when you already know it's great. The tournament is great as is." Dan Hurley, "What I think makes the tournament special is the qualification for it. You don't want the regular season to be rendered meaningless and take away from November, December, January, February. The qualification process makes the regular season intense and pressure-packed. It should be a privilege to play in the tournament, not a right. And obviously, if it expands too much and you don't have a real good reason, a season to make it, that would take away from the tournament. Does it get too big?" And he also added, "I love watching the 116 games, the 8-9 games, the Dayton games. But I also love the fact when it was 64, it was really hard to get in."
Mm-hmm.
John Calipari with maybe my favorite quote ever from a coach. And I'm not a big John Calipari guy. This is what he told CBS Sports. "I am a big believer in the idea that if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think that applies to the NCAA tournament. Having said that, if we are to expand, my hope is that at least half the spots are held for non-Power 4 teams. If they do that, we are making the decision for the right reasons. As someone who has been both David and won some, and Goliath and lost some, that's what makes this tournament so special. We can't afford to lose that special piece of our sport." Of all guys, John Calipari is the one who said that.
Mm-hmm.
And he better be, I hope he's right.
It screws up the bracket.
Oh,
I remember in like junior high, my mom was a nurse. She would bring all the doctors and everyone would do their bracket contests, and you bring back your bracket, you chip in $10, you fill it out. Well, now I got so many games on Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know who's going to be playing.
No, you have no idea.
I mean, like an 11 seed makes a run once in a while. That can happen. And you can make a Sweet 16 and Elite 8. So now I don't know who's going to be playing in those games and who to pick, because we're going to have 6 games each day.
Sure.
Charlie Baker, the NC2A president. The more teams we can get into the tournament, the better. It gives more kids the opportunity to experience. Okay.
Yeah, terrific. By the way,
everyone gets a trophy and a juice box again. Here we go.
The committee chair, who was awesome last year on Selection Sunday, he actually gave well-thought-out answers for the first time in the history of the event, in my opinion. He said today, this way, the 16 seeds can actually, all of these teams that are going to advance, you can say that you won a tournament game. God, are we reaching or what? This is Illinois coach Brad Underwood. Who's pushing this?
Yes, no one wants it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he said, this does not move the needle at all. Not good for mid-majors, low majors at all. Period. End of quote. And by the way, they had a bunch of other quotes from and I think Patino was for expanding under the right circumstances. But Norlander pointed out in the piece that the 4, what did I give? Quotes from 4 different coaches right there. They joined the list of like 10 other of the biggest names in the entire sport who are like, we don't want to expand. Nobody does. Why do we want this?
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it.
Regular season rendered meaningless and messes up the bracket. And the other thing, when this broke 10 days ago, Bart Torvik actually did a screenshot about then the teams that would have got in this year and what that resume looked like.
Well, and it was
and
also
the teams that would have been in.
And now we're going to go from the last 4 teams in to the last 12 teams in. Like, what? And
I cannot believe half the teams are automatic qualifiers.
I know.
15 seeds now and part of a plan.
Get ready for 5-13 in conference play, and I'll even say below 500 for a regular season record.
Overall record, yes.
Yep.
That's in play.
Get some best bets in Major League